Thank God first. Before the goals. Before the coffee. Before the phone lights up and starts pulling your mind in 10 different directions. Start with Him. Because gratitude is not a decoration on a good life. It is the doorway to one. Too many people wake up already running, already stressed, already defeated, already thinking about what they lack. And then they wonder why their day feels heavy. But when you wake up and say, God, thank you. Even before you fully open your eyes, something shifts. Your spirit lifts. Your mind settles. Your day begins with truth instead of noise. Thank God first. Because if you are awake today, you already received a blessing bigger than every complaint in your head. Someone did not wake up today. You did. That means God still has plans for you. And you do not need a perfect life to say thank you. You only need a real one, a beating heart, a new day, a chance to build, to heal, to grow. That simple thank you is not small. It is spiritual weightlifting. It strengthens the part of you that carries the whole day. Some people say they will be grateful when life gets better. But life gets better when you are grateful. Gratitude is not the reaction. It is the ignition. Because when you thank God first, something powerful happens. You stop thinking like a victim. You stop thinking like you are empty. You start thinking like someone who still has something to give. Most people live as if today owes them something. But the truth is, today is a gift. And gifts are meant to be appreciated before they are used. So thank God first for waking you up, for giving you breath, for giving you strength you sometimes forget you have, for giving you another chance to get it right. Thank God for the battles you survived, for the storms that did not break you, for the nights you cried but still woke up standing. Thank Him for wisdom gained through pain. Thank Him for lessons you did not want but needed. Thank Him for every no that protected you from what you could not see. Gratitude is not denial. It is direction. It points your mind toward what is true instead of what is loud. Problems shout. Blessings whisper. Thank God first so you can hear them. When you thank God, you open your life to bigger things. Not because gratitude bribes God, but because gratitude prepares you. It gives you eyes to notice opportunities, strength to handle growth, and peace to stand through chaos. Some of you are one thank you away from clarity, one thank you away from courage, one thank you away from realizing that God has been working even when you thought nothing was happening. Thank God first because gratitude breaks spiritual fog, clears the path. It sharpens your mind. It humbles your heart. It reminds you that you are not alone. And when you know you are not alone, you walk differently. You speak differently. You make decisions from faith instead of fear. You stop chasing validation. You stop begging for approval. You stop trying to carry everything by yourself. Because you remember who holds your life. And you remember that He has never stopped holding it. Thank God for the people who stayed. Thank God for the people who left. Thank God for the people who taught you how to love. And thank God for the people who taught you what to stop tolerating. Every person was part of the shaping. Every moment had a purpose. Thank God for the doors that opened. And thank Him for the ones that slammed shut. Closed doors are not punishment. Sometimes they are mercy. Thank God first because gratitude kills comparison. When you appreciate what God gave you, you stop measuring your life with someone else's ruler. Your path is your path. Your pace is your pace. Your blessings are your blessings. Your story is your story. What God has for you does not need someone else's lane. It needs your focus. Thank God for your strengths. Thank Him for your weaknesses too. Your strengths show what you can do. Your weaknesses show why you need Him. Both are part of your calling. Gratitude is the anchor that keeps your soul from drifting into bitterness, envy, and fear. Because you cannot be grateful and bitter at the same time. You cannot be grateful and jealous at the same time. You cannot be grateful and hopeless at the same time. Gratitude pulls you back to truth. And the truth is that God has already given you more than you realize. You just have to slow down long enough to see it. Thank God first thing in the morning. Before stress steals your peace. Before your phone fills your mind with other people's opinions. Before the world tells you who to be. Start with God. Start with gratitude. Start with truth. Take a moment and think about the last year of your life. Think about everything you did not think you would survive. And yet you are here. You made it through heartbreak. You made it through fear. You made it through uncertainty. You made it through the days you thought were impossible. Thank God for the strength that carried you even when you felt weak. Thank Him for the hope that quietly held you up. Thank Him for the peace that made no sense at the time but kept you stable. You did not make it here by accident. You made it here because God kept you. Thank God for the things you prayed for and received. And thank Him for the things you prayed for and did not receive. Sometimes He protects you by withholding. Sometimes He saves you by delaying. Sometimes He blesses you by redirecting. And every time it is out of love. Thank God first because gratitude creates room. Room for new blessings. Room for healing. Room for clarity. Room for growth. A grateful heart is not crowded with resentment. A grateful heart is not filled with worry. A grateful heart is not choking on disappointment. A grateful heart has space. And where there is space, God can plant more. Thank God for the small things. Sunlight, breath, a warm meal, quiet moment, a friend who checks in, a lesson learned, a tiny step of progress. These small things become the foundation of big faith. And big faith becomes the foundation of a meaningful life. Some people chase miracles but forget that every breath is one. Some people chase signs but ignore the sign that they are still here. Thank God first. Not because everything is perfect, but because He is still with you even in what is not perfect. If you wait for a flawless life before you are grateful, you will never be grateful. Gratitude is something you practice in the middle, in the mess, in the unknown, in the transition, in the growth. God blesses people who appreciate what He already gave. Not because He needs the gratitude, but because gratitude trains your heart to notice His hand. And when you notice His hand, you follow His guidance. Thank God for the ability to try again today, for another morning, for another chance to choose better, for another chance to love better, for another chance to trust deeper. Thank God for the wisdom that came from mistakes. Thank Him for the humility that came from failure. Thank Him for the strength that came from breaking. Thank Him for the courage that came from getting back up. Every chapter mattered. Some of you are in a season that feels unfair. Life hit you hard. Life confused you. Life disappointed you. Life took something from you. And maybe gratitude feels strange right now. Maybe it feels like pretending. But it is not pretending. It is remembering that God is bigger than this moment. That this pain is not the end of your story. Thank God in your struggle, not because you enjoy the struggle, but because He is using it to strengthen you. Thank Him because you know He will not waste the pain. Thank Him because nothing you go through is pointless. Thank God because He is working on things you cannot see. He is arranging people, opportunities, and breakthroughs that your eyes are not aware of yet. Gratitude keeps your heart ready for what He is preparing. Thank God first because your day will follow what your heart focuses on. If you focus on what is missing, you will feel empty. If you focus on what is wrong, you will feel defeated. If you focus on God, you will feel guided. Start your day with the One who created the day. A simple thank you, Lord, can shift your entire spirit. That one moment of gratitude can break the heaviness trying to settle on your shoulders. Thank God for today. Thank Him for right now. Thank Him for giving you another chance to live with intention. Gratitude is not weakness. Gratitude is strength. It is clarity. It is spiritual maturity. Anyone can complain. Anyone can point at what is missing. But it takes strength to say, God, I thank you. Even when life is not perfect. That is the kind of heart God honors. That is the kind of faith that moves mountains. That is the kind of spirit that grows no matter what season you are in. Thank God first. Before you ask for anything. Before you solve anything. Before you fight any battle. Because when you thank Him first, you remember who fights with you. And when you remember who fights with you, fear loses its grip. So right now, wherever you are, whisper it or say it loud. God, thank you. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this chance. Thank you for every step that brought me here. Thank you for every blessing I did not deserve. Thank you for staying with me even when I walked away. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for being faithful. Thank you for being God. Keep thanking Him. Keep noticing His hand. Keep your heart open. Your life will change from the inside out. Thank God first today, and watch the rest of your day transform.